Okay. All right, guys, I hope you all have a pen and paper because this is going to be a working Zoom. And if you don't, I suppose you can, of course, go back and rewatch this and do it all when you can sit down and go over it. But I want to ask you all a couple questions first, okay? So as we kick off here, I want you to really sit and be honest with yourself. And I want you to either write down or just take a minute and think about in your head the answer to these questions as they pertain to you. First question is, how often do you work? How often do you work, Plexus? Next question is, what do you do when you are working your Plexus business? So what do you do? Now, do we have anyone brave enough to share their answers? I'm just looking for one person, maybe two. Oh, did somebody write in the chat? Yes, this is being recorded. So, first question, how often do you work? Anyone up for answering that? You have to unmute yourself.
Hey, Autumn.
Hey.
I work every day.
Every day? Okay.
I would say at least 6 days a week, but most of the time it's every day.
Okay. Thank you.
What was the other question?
Maria. If you want to answer the other part to it was, what do you do?
I post almost every day. I follow up every day. I reach out every day, build relationships. Definitely building relationships is every day.
Awesome. Thank you for that. That was okay. So that's great. That's really, really great that Maria said that. Hold on, let me get it. There we go. So, but I can guarantee that some of you on this Zoom are not actually working and doing all the things, nor are you possibly even paying attention to really what you're doing, or maybe you're feeling unorganized. Maybe you don't have, maybe you're just flying by the seat of your pants every week or every day. I know we have ambassadors in different places, and you might be someone that's organized, you might be someone that's not. So we're going to talk about things that you should be doing, and during this Zoom, you're going to be setting up your own schedule for the week, okay? And this is going to be something that ideally you're going to shoot towards working every day and fitting this in as a priority. And you're going to get to customize it. But first, I want to go over a couple things. There's some quotes that I like that I wanted to share with you all. And I'm not sure who this is by, but the quote is, there are two types of people in the business community: those who produce results and those who give you reasons why they didn't. Okay, so that might be convicting for some people. Some quotes about time and priorities. It's not about finding more time. It's about priority. Nobody is too busy. It's just a matter of priority. The question is, are you reacting to everything? And then last one, there's so many things that are busy but not productive for your future or a greater purpose. Okay, so what I hope you take away from today is that if you have true goals in Plexus, then Plexus needs to become your job. And that's how I have always treated it. And that's one thing that Erin, you'll hear her say sometimes that she picked up on with me is that, and that's just kind of how I positioned myself with it, is I treated it like a job, and I still do. So my first goal with all of you is to find out and have you write down the answer to these questions. If you don't like your answer to these questions, how often do you work your business, and what do you do? We're gonna fix that during this Zoom. But right now, I would like you to think for a minute, how often do you want to work your business? You know, this is your business, and you can work it 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. You can work it 6 days. You can work it 7 days. For me personally, and I know Erin and Amber, Janelle, when we were running towards our goal, when we were in that season of just running hard, we all were pretty much doing 7 days a week, I would say. And you know, that was our choice. And so if you find yourself in that place where you're running and you're all in, then by all means, you can do that. If you feel like you're in a place where, no, life is really hectic, I already feel like I don't have a good grasp on things, I better stick to 5 days a week, then great. If you feel like you need to do less, then, I mean, that's up to you. But just keep in mind that the more you do daily, consistently, the more or the faster results you're going to see. And I just want to make sure that you all had a chance to read what I put in the post on when everyone posted about this training, if I can find it here. The analogy of chopping down a tree. Here we go. It's by John Maxwell. Suppose you want to cut down a huge tree in your front yard, and all you have to do is get an axe to cut it down with. You could approach it a couple ways. Go after it, swinging vigorously and mightily until you are completely worn out. Pace yourself, swinging strong 5 times a day. If you were to choose option 1, you could swing vigorously and mightily until all of the strength you had left in your body. But all you would end up with is all you would end up with is to be completely exhausted and a tree with some chalk marks in it. And because you had exhausted yourself so completely, you might not be able to bring yourself to pick the axe back up. If you were to choose option 2, you would make a serious mark each day with 5 swings, and there would be no question of if the tree were going to come down. The only question would be when the tree would fall. Because of this method of 5 swings of the axe every day, it will fall. So if you find yourself flighty in your business and you're kind of working it once a week, twice a week, and you're just not reaching those goals, I'm sorry, but there are certain circumstances where you don't get to be discouraged for not hitting goals when you're not putting in the work. And it's not that you have to put in a ton of work. You just have to be organized and have a list of what needs to be done and complete it. And guess what? You can move on with your day. So what I want to encourage you to do from this day forward is, as you make your list, as we prepare to do that in just a minute, that you treat and view your time that you sit down and work Plexus as your business time. That means that it's not just like you wake up in bed and you're flipping through your phone. I want to encourage you to not even give yourself permission to look at anything else on social media, whether it be Facebook or Instagram, until you have done your tasks for the day. Okay, so you don't get to play around until your work is done. And if you can hold yourself to that, that will keep you accountable to doing the things that need to be done to keep your business growing and moving forward. And then when you've completed your tasks for the day, you have permission to do whatever the heck you want with the rest of your day on your phone, on your computer. But I promise you that if you stick to your schedule and complete your work, I can guarantee if you have unhappy family members around you that are claiming you're on your phone too much, or just you feel like you're being unproductive because you're jumping off in tangents, or you're being drawn off in this direction and that direction because Facebook and social media does that to you. And then before you know it, it's so easy. 30 minutes can pass in the snap of a finger. And what have you done for work? Nothing. So if you wake up and you've got to set aside a designated time, and I want all of you to decide this before we conclude, are you going to have a miracle morning? Are you going to wake up 30 minutes early, an hour early, and try and bang out your work for the day? Is Plexus and your goals that important? Or are you the type that maybe waking up early isn't going to work, but maybe you could wake up 10 minutes early, bang out a third or maybe half of your list, and then maybe you'll do the rest on your lunch break. It's up to you, but you have got to designate time that you know what to do and when you're going to do it. And the great news about this is that if you have a day filled with all these appointments and unexpected, events occurring in the day, you still have your list to know what you did and didn't complete. So sometimes if I have a crazy day ahead of me and I did not get up early enough, I complete what I can in the 5 minutes or 10 minutes I have. And then I know, okay, the next 3 minutes I have, I've got to finish my list for the day. I cannot go to bed without doing my work. Now, sometimes there's times of grace for that. If you're on vacation or whatnot, that's the beautiful part of owning your own business and having this amazing business like we do. But from the day-to-day routine, whether you're working full-time, part-time, or not at all, this has got to be some sort of priority in your day. Otherwise, you've just got to let go of any huge dreams and plans because it's not a priority. So it's really a mental mindset that you've got to take a good look at yourself and say, is this a priority in my life daily? Or am I just fooling myself and making me think it is, and it really isn't? So be honest, it's okay, but we're going to work to change that. So paper and pen. First of all, we're going to get organized. And one of the things I hope all of you have is the app or the program, website, whatever you want to call it, called Dough. And I'm sure a lot of you know what that is. If you don't know what that is, then we'll have to talk on the side or talk to your nearest upline. But you guys, I feel like this is just taken off a huge burden from me trying to stay organized with a business that involves you having to keep track of hundreds of people that you're growing relationships with and talking about Plexus with and all this stuff. It's all in one program. If you can get Dough and commit to paying, I think it's like $15 to $20 a month, somewhere around there, and it's a write-off, it's a tax deduction, it will make your life so much easier, and you will be more thorough, and people won't fall through the cracks, and it'll make your IPA so simple because it gives you the people to reach out to. Sometimes I get on the phone with my team and I ask them what they're doing, and they don't really know what they're doing. And I'm like, well, okay, you're posting, that's great, but like where's the relationship building, and are you connecting with your team and all these things? And so it just makes it so easy. I used to have a 3x5 file card or file of cards that are on 3x5 with people's names on it. And it was, until I got Dough, I was missing so many people. Like, I could not believe all the new potential I had. And here I was limiting myself to this like 200 to 300 stack of people and these cards that I felt like I was just kept going through and going through and going through. And I tried to add new people onto the card, but Dough is the answer to it all. So anyway, just cannot say enough. If you're serious about this business, you need to get Dough. You need to invest in it. If you don't have dough or you can't get it, then get some sort of system to get organized. There's ways to print off your Facebook friends list, and then you'll have to figure it out from there, whether it goes 3x5 cards or whatnot. But as soon as you can, get dough. Okay, so we're gonna make a list of things that are required in this business. And we are going to, it's up to you whether you wanna plan this out as we go, or if you wanna go back after this Zoom is over and plan out your own week. You probably wanna just mull it over a little bit and make sure it's all right for you. But we're gonna go through pretty much what I have, a checklist of things of all that's required. So the first thing, obviously, is post on Facebook. So go ahead and write that down. Now, I obviously encourage you to post on Facebook at least once a day. You know, if this truly is a business for you, then you need to keep your face in front of people. In fact, there's a quote also that says, people do not trust someone they cannot see and will not follow someone they cannot trust. So you need to get yourself out there. And that means getting your face on social media, and at times, if possible, doing a video. Some of you are doing great at that. Susie, I just saw yours the other day. Okay, so posting on Facebook. Next is commenting on potentials post. So like your potentials, if you've got, you can have like a little hot list of people, or you can star your people in dough, okay? And so, but no matter what, however you decide to do it, you need to be commenting on your potentials that are kind of fence sitters for Plexus. Because the more they see your face, the more they see that you're kind of interacting with them in a non-Plexus fashion, then that kind of moves things along, you know, quicker in your direction, in hopes that they'll be ordering as you grow that relationship. Next one is commenting on your level one's post. So whether you have one level one or 100 level ones, try and fit that in. And maybe that's not every day. Maybe that's just one person on Monday, one person on Wednesday, and one person on Friday. But believe it or not, as you grow, and you know, some of you might even struggle with this now, as you get more friends on Facebook, we don't see everybody. And so it is important to keep that contact with your level ones, and whether it be Plexus or non-Plexus, but you know, ideally Plexus, so you can support their business in that way. Commenting on their posts is important. Next one is check your nearest jewel page. And the reason why I say this, you know, some of you might have your own pages. Some of you might be on so many pages, you just feel overwhelmed. And so just make it a goal to check, I guess, whatever is your closest Jules page for what they've got going on, for any particular announcements. You know, sometimes we just expect that Facebook is going to show us everything. And believe it or not, most of all the settings on group pages are actually set to just show people the highlights. So unless you go in and manually change it to show every post, you're gonna miss different things. And truly, our team pages are one of the main and kind of only ways for us to keep a direct line of contact with all of you through announcements and important information. And so, you know, as things grow, our goal is to obviously have that be the place where all the news is shared, and you keep tabs on that. Next one is check messages on Messenger. And this is in no particular order. Obviously, you're gonna wanna check messages every day. Messages should be, though, I will tell you, towards the latter half of your to-do list. Your own IPA, your own reaching out, your own following up should come first. That's like what Emily Gibson calls putting on your oxygen mask first. She uses that analogy. You put your own oxygen mask on for your own business, and then you can go and help your team and their questions with their messages they've sent. Next one, friend 8 to 10 new people. And once again, that doesn't have to be every day. Or if you're really looking to expand your network because you're feeling like your warm market is no longer moving fast enough, then I suggest you friend 8 to 10 people a day. And I will tell you, when you friend that many, you're only probably going to expect to get 1 to 3 people to actually friend you back. And depending on how you go about that, I personally like to friend friends of friends, but even beyond that, within my friends of friends, I'm looking for people in their friends list that I have more than one mutual friend with which was that friend. And I might have to answer this later in questions if this is too confusing, but I'm friending people that I have 2 or more friends in common with, so that they don't feel like I'm targeting them, or, you know, and plus when you have mutual friends with someone, they just assume that, you know, they might have met you at some point or something along the lines. So the next, reach out for an event. So if there's an event happening, you know, I have that down to remind myself, like, you know what, I've got to go reach out for this event. Or is there an event happening? I need to check the team page and see, is there anything coming up that I need to be aware of? Next one, if you do stories on Facebook, some of you are doing those, some of you are doing them on Instagram. If you're doing stories, you could put down a reminder to share some stories. Another task for the day, once again, optional, is birthday messages. So one of the ways that that's helped me grow my business is I reach out, I look through, first of all, Facebook gives you whose birthday it is each day. And so that's one of the things I do in the morning is I look through whose birthday it is for the day. And if they're not on Plexus, I'll reach out to them with some special verbiage, which if you're interested, I can send that to you. But it basically says, you know, happy birthday. I'd love to send you a sample of my favorite health product. Give me your address and I'll put a sample in the mail. And so I'm sending them 1 stick of Slim. And not everyone will want the sample, which is so interesting. And anyway, I connect with them there, and then of course make a list of who wants a sample. So I do that every day. So that's on my list. Actually, Monday through Sunday is birthday messages, or sometimes if I don't work on Sundays, which oftentimes I don't so much, I can actually see on a Monday, I can see whose birthday it was yesterday. So I'll utilize that on Mondays oftentimes. Next one, message people that liked your Plexus post. We are missing out on great, amazing opportunity when we're not messaging people that like our posts. Why do they just have to comment when they're clearly liking it for a reason? And I also have verbiage for that as well if you're interested. It says something like, hey girl, thanks so much for the like on my post. Were you just being supportive, which is awesome, or did you want more information? So that's great for Instagram or Facebook. And obviously, if you're making Plexus posts multiple times a week, something you should be looking for at the least, I would think Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but it's up to you. You're making your own schedule. Next is follow up. So you can set this up in Dough. Where you can set it so that you'll follow up with the person every week or that type of thing. So it's your choice whether or not you want to utilize Dough, or if you're doing this kind of more manually, make a note on what days you plan to follow up with people. Okay, if it's going to be a follow-up Friday, great. You maybe got a lot of people to reach out to, or if you kind of want to space that out throughout the week and just make it one person a day, it's up to you and where you're at in your business and how you want to structure that. Next thing is to work through the list of people that Doe has given you. So if you have Doe, that's going to be on your list. And I have mine set to 10 people a day. And sometimes I will work through that and then get another 10. So I oftentimes will be chatting with or reaching out to about 20 people a day. Now, when I get on Doe and I reach out to these people, it all depends. So Doe has been amazing for me with the iPad challenge. I would go through 20 people a day, and I eventually got my 6 people, or wait, was it 6 or 9? It was 6, right? Yeah. I eventually got my 6 people just through cold messaging. And because I had expanded my network to these friends of friends, and Doe gave me their names, I just was sending messages. I was able to bang it out in like 5-10 minutes, 20 messages a day. Boom, it was done. Whatever it was, couple weeks in, had my iPad, okay? So Doe is great for that. If you just want to, when we get CBD oil and we finally find out what all that's about, I mean, I'm going to be using Doe like crazy to reach out to every person it gives me each day. And what I love about it is that it's not on me to sit and like go through Facebook and try and figure out who I'm going to reach out to, because I have a lot of emotions attached to people. Like, oh, no, I won't reach out to her. Oh, yeah, no, I just talked to her. But when Doe gives it to me, I feel more confident and just like, I'm just going for it. Their name has popped up. I'm just going to reach out to them. So sometimes it's just building relationships because maybe they just turned me down for Plexus. And other times it is about Plexus. I'm inviting them to an event, or I'm inviting them to come try the products. Okay, moving on. Welcoming on the team page. So if you're on your upline's team page, or of course if you have your own, this is part of our business. And maybe you feel like that's a given. Oh, Autumn, I welcome. I'll never, have to worry about forgetting that. Okay, well, it's up to you, but I suggest you get it down in your task of work to do, either twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever. We all need each other's support on team pages. Follow up with birthday samples. So if you do end up sending out that birthday sample, that is also part of the task. Or a task for me is oftentimes on Mondays, I will follow up with the people I sent a birthday sample out to. Next up is subscriptions. We're going to get in your back office. Maybe this is just an end of the month thing. Maybe this is an every Friday thing. Every Friday you take a look at, has anyone joined the team and do they have a subscription in place? So, staying in your back office, kind of being aware of customers and ambassadors, that can kind of be lumped into that category. And then I have something that if any of you would like to join the page, I'm totally fine with. What I have started the last couple months is a message, a product highlight message that I am sending out to customers. I have a special program that I use. It's 5 cents a text. It doesn't come from my cell phone, which is nice. And I have all my customers and wholesale ambassadors plugged in. And every month, mid-month, I send them a product highlight, a product and a little paragraph of what the product does and how it may apply to their health or their health desires. So this has been great because I have felt like I wanted a way to continue to educate my current Plexus users, but felt a little bit kind of awkward and unsure how to personally hit them up every month with a new product without seeming like overly salesy. So I just call it a product highlight. I throw the information out there with a picture. It comes from, and you could do it from your phone. You don't have to pay with like what I do and do the 5 cents, but I just feel better that I'm educating them. And when our new products come out, you better believe, I'm doing that right away. And I'm going to get to educate all of them, and they get it right on their phone. So that'll be great. So if you want to be added to that page and include that in, your work for once a month, that would be great. Okay, so let me just make sure I got everything here. I did finally get the paper, Kathy, that I was looking for. Okay. Oh, I did miss one. And I've got to go get my charger. Oh, I missed a couple. Update your Dough app. If you're using it, update it once a month. It updates, you're updating your Facebook friends onto Dough and all of that. And then set up a phone call with an ambassador on your team. And I got to say this one thing, and then I'm going to have you guys think of your questions, and I got to go get my charger because I didn't realize my computer was almost dead. So it's so important that you get on the phone with your team. I get on the phone with various ambassadors. Some of them are brand new and I see their face pop up on the team page, and or I see them trying to work the business a bit, or they're shouted out for something or whatever. And so sometimes I'll reach out and I'll say, hey, I'm doing some meet and greets with some of the new people on the team. Would love to chat with you sometime soon and hear like how you came to Plexus and how it's going. And so it's been so great. And I've done this for years. And so it's just really important, no matter how many you have on your team. Obviously, if you have just a couple, that's okay. I mean, just get them in maybe within a month's time. If you have a bigger team, then maybe you can fit into 1 to 2 people a week, or 3 people. It's up to you. But once again, I know for the most part, I have these designated times of when I do these phone calls with people. And so oftentimes they're on Tuesdays and Thursdays when my kids are in their classes. And so I get to spend personal one-on-one time getting to know my team and getting to know their goals if they're doing the business. Okay, 1 second, guys. Let me go grab my charger and I'll. Okay. And then lastly, the last thing I will say, if you're working Instagram, you can have your own little separate list for Instagram, obviously making a post on Instagram, checking your polls. Like if you do stories, even on Facebook, and you do like one of those polls for people to vote on, that's important that you follow up and see who voted, because that might be a potential that is wanting more information. You can also like and comment on random people's posts on Instagram. Sometimes that creates a little bit of a following because people kind of look at what you're about and follow you back. And then same thing, check messages on Instagram and those types of things. So with all that I just gave you, if you didn't already, you're gonna, like I said, plug in what your week is going to look like, how often you're going to do each task. And maybe some you'll only do once a week, maybe some you'll do every day of the week like we talked about. But please take the time and create your list. And if it has to be, typed out and, laminated or, written in your planner somewhere where you can constantly go back to. That's what I have, is I have at the very front of my planner, I'll show you here. I have my tasks. Oh, wait, is it the front? Oh, no, it's the back, sorry. I have my Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So do whatever you need to do to get yourself organized. And then it takes a lot of the emotion out of working this business. I mean, you're still going to encounter disappointment and excitement and all of the emotions, but it's not just me sitting there thinking, all right, what am I going to do with my Plexus business today? Who was I supposed to reach out to? Oh, I got to post. What else should I do? And that's not working a business. You need to know what to do. And if heaven forbid I have missed anything, please shout out if I have missed something that we do in our business that I did not list. All right. Yes, I will put, Maria, I will put the birthday messages. I'll put it on Janelle's page in the comments of the post. I'll put it in pink diamonds on the comments of the post, and then my page. I'll put it in the comments of the post. All right. Does anyone have any questions? And I will say, while y'all are waiting, Emily Gibson does a video that says, stop working your business all day long. And what she really means is that we have no organization. We have no method to the madness. And so just like what I was saying a minute ago, you get on Facebook and you're like, well, what do I do? Well, if you stick to this, you could be done in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on what you have each day. Maybe one day you have more time than some other day. And like I said, once you're done, you've done your work. You've done your work for your business, and you can have peace of mind. That's what I struggled with. I'll be vulnerable here with you for a minute. Just even like 2.5 years ago, when I was Emerald, I remember feeling like I was never done working my business. I'm like, there has got to be a way for me to like feel like I'm done, you know, because I just keep working all day long because I had no method to the madness. I had no method of what to do each day. I didn't take the time to sit down and plan out my week of all the things that made my business what it is. So once I did that, it freed me. It freed me like no other. So now I can wake up and I can complete it all in the morning. And if I want to get on in the afternoon and check what's going on, I can. If I don't want to or have a busy day, I don't have to. That's the freedom it gives you. All right, any questions? Pretty explanatory, I'd say. Not too much. Anybody at all? If not, we'll get ready and conclude and let you guys all have a good night. Maria, do you have any questions? Okay. Susie, Kathy.
I think I'm good. Thank you so much, though. This was awesome.
Good. All right. So if you really want to be held accountable, send me your like a picture of your schedule. Okay. I want to see that you guys have taken this seriously and that you treat your business seriously, and let me hold you accountable. Try and send that to me. What is today? Thursday? See if you can send it to me by like Sunday night. And I want to see those schedules and cheer you on and help you feel good about your business and not like you're glued to the phone all the time, and you're actually being effective and productive, and you can walk away and know you did what you needed to do for the day. All right, guys. Good to see your faces.